Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we will be discussing how you need to go about trying to prove the genuineness of your relationship, and that is for all types of applications where you are applying as a dependent partner, whether you make the application from overseas as a partner of somebody who's settled here as a British national, as a partner of a skilled worker, a student, etc. And the same applies in relation to applications that you make from within the UK. Just to state the obvious, proving the genuineness of your relationship in these types of applications is obviously a mandatory requirement. Typically, if you're making your application from overseas, then the sort of evidence that you need to provide in order to prove your relationship is genuine and subsisting, is as well as providing evidence of either your previous cohabitation or your marriage certificate, but also providing evidence of the contact that you've maintained by way of phone calls, messaging, generally social media contacts, financial remittances. And when you're making applications from the UK, generally the focus is on providing correspondence addressed to you both at the same address. It doesn't need, the documentation doesn't need to be in joint names, although if it is, then all the better. But you can have documents addressed to you individually at the same address. So in country applications, the focus is on correspondence proving cohabitation. With applications from overseas, it is trying to establish ongoing contact and involvement in one another's lives, and in particular showing financial support. In this social media age, it isn't just generally the public that is increasingly reliant on social media for communications, etc., and maintaining relationships, but the Home Office certainly do have access to that sort of material and are increasingly using that in order to determine applications. So it's very important to ensure that your social media accounts are consistent with the information that you are providing to the Home Office. They are increasingly using AI tools to sift through these sorts of accounts to ensure that the information that you are providing to them is consistent. You should also be aware that there are many other open sources that the Home Office have access to. For example, they can have access to your credit files, and those are easily available to the Home Office to see which addresses that you're registered to. And often we see that couples are living together, but they've not bothered to change their addresses and their postal addresses for different locations, but they're actually living together. But if the Home Office then resort to those open source materials and credit files, etc., they may well show a contradiction and inconsistency, and that may found grounds for refusal of your application. So when you are looking to make an application, it's very important that you do have regard to the statements and the posts that you've made on social media, and just to go through those to ensure consistency of information, and that you're not providing the Home Office with any opportunity to come back and to refuse your applications. I should mention that dependents of skilled workers and students are facing increasing scrutiny, and it's particularly important, although it's important for everybody, but I would say particularly important for dependents of skilled workers and students, to ensure absolute consistency and ensure that they are providing comprehensive evidence in support of their applications to prove their relationships, because refusal of those applications don't trigger a substantive right of appeal. There is a very limited right of appeal by way of administrative review, and that's not very effectual at all. And you don't want to get into those circumstances where your applications are refused, and where you're unlikely to even succeed on an administrative review process, and in any event, administrative review appeals are currently taking around 18 months to process. So overall, with applications that you're making in country for further leave as a partner, it's very, very important to ensure that all your correspondence is addressed to you both at the same address. And if you haven't changed all your addresses, then it's important to do that before you make the application, rather than to provide obvious ammunition for the Home Office to refuse your application. When making applications from overseas, again, it's very important to provide as comprehensive information as possible of ongoing communications, ties, financial support, etc., to maximize your prospects of success. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you need any support and assistance, then please contact our team.